In this episode with James Van Elswick, we dive into how he picks winning offers. How much is he willing to actually lose to test out an offer and open up a new traffic source? Plus, we dive into how he is actually able to negotiate prepayment when it comes to running affiliate offers. It's an amazing episode. Plus, you learn about how he's managing tens of millions of dollars on native on networks like Taboola and Outbrain with Symphony Agency. And we also dive into the amazing events that he's running with Geek Out Education. Enjoy the show.
Look, you got to have a sticking point and you cannot become emotional with it, which is what I'm doing right now. You got to be a lot more rational and you got to consistently pull all-time stats and not daily stats. Because losing $100 a day or $300 a day or $500 a day, whatever your tolerance is, it doesn't seem like that bad.
Listening to the Rich Ad Poor Ad podcast, where we break down the financial principles that rich advertisers are deploying today to turn advertising into profit and get tons of traffic to their websites without killing their cash. These advertisers, agencies, affiliates, brands are responsible for managing over $1 billion a year in ad spend. You'll hear about what's working for them today, their rich ads, and we'll roast their epic failures and crappy ads on the internet with poor ads. Let's get into it. Welcome to another episode of the Rich Ad Poor Ad podcast. This is your host, Zach Johnson. I'm with the one and only DC, Dylan Carpenter. You excited today, Dylan?
Yeah, man, I am pumped. We had a little sneak peek earlier, but I'm kind of geeking out already.
Oh, shoot. I feel like Dylan, this is like, Dylan is so giddy about today's guest. It's just like, Dylan's like a little schoolgirl. I just love the grin on Dylan's face about today's guest. I feel like we've... Dylan's wanted him on for a while, so just enjoy, Dylan. We'll let you be just a listener. Just so excited. I love it, man. Well, I mean, it's all super legit because today's guest has really brought in managed tens of millions in media outside of Google, and really his expertise is in lead gen and native. He runs an agency, Symphony Agency, which really specializes in native, and also more notably in our community is the co-founder of Geek Out Education, which runs some of the most, I would say, intense masterminds, workshops, hangouts. I don't even know what you call what they do, but it's so unique in the space. And I think it's honestly probably the most high level and elite media buying education that exists on the market today.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I'm pretty pumped to have on today's guest. So without further ado, let's get James on the show. James, how you doing?
Hello, and thank you for Dylan. I appreciate your giddiness. That's always a nice welcome when someone's giddy. And also the intro, man. I really appreciate your perception of the geek out. So that really that's great. Thank you for having me on to chat with you guys.
Yeah, man, it's pretty cool. We haven't really had anybody on the show that has as much experience in lead gen as you, as well as so much emphasis and focus on native. We've had a ton of Facebook ad buyers and Google ad buyers on the show, so I feel like this will be definitely fun to dive in.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've always been a big Facebook buyer as well, but just there was so much, there's still so much turmoil all the time that I just didn't feel comfortable with Facebook as a vendor, like as a partner in my business when you're just going to randomly ban me and stuff like that. So we had already been big on natives and then we just focused moving back into it because it's more stable. So I love it over there.
That's awesome, man. And you guys are managing a pretty hefty chunk of change of media right now on the agency side. I'd say maybe post Q4, you might be hitting 25, 30 million.
We're over
or more this year.
We're over 2 mil a month right now. And
that's great.
All of the clients that we run have, cash or inventory or desire to do, a couple mil a month. So it's just a matter of us getting them there.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, man. So for everybody that's not familiar with you, tell everybody a little bit about Symphony Agency and Geek Out Education and kind of give them up to speed on what you're up to.
Yeah, I mean, Symphony Agency, I have a partner in media buyers in Israel. And then there's a second component, which is a creative agency in the Ukraine. that handles like all of the dev stuff, videos, images, photo shoots, etc. Then the real data portion of things is in Israel, and it's with a real focus on native ads, whether it be Taboola, Outbrain, Yahoo, Gemini. Geek Out EDU is more fun. I don't think I've ever really made money on it yet, but I've made like an amazing network and building personal brand and just learning a ton. I think that was like the purpose. Like you kind of mentioned that Geek Out was different, and it's because like the seed of it, like the original impetus was just to create a community of people that wanted to geek out on this nerdy shit that our wives or girlfriends or boyfriends just didn't want to hear about. Like nobody wants to hear about clicks. My wife's like, I don't want to hear about clicks at dinner. And I just want to create a place so that, everybody could hang out and talk about what we love with full passion. And it's resonated, people really enjoy coming. It's part learning, part hangout. So it's something that I really, really enjoy. We got one this weekend, I think will be one of our best. We're doing totally different format. So there's like minimal PowerPoint presentation, and the majority of it is just the speakers opening up ad accounts and just letting people ask questions like, why do you do this? How do you do this? What's the purpose of this? And just getting, full transparency and letting like smart people dig into the campaigns of smart people.
Oof, that's sick.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I love it, dude. I think that, gosh, before Geek Out, I mean, where really could somebody go for that like high level media buyer focus? I honestly, maybe there's like a ton of stuff that's happening out, on the outskirts of affiliate world, of like different events you had to like go like once a year, and like not really here in the US, that's for sure. And so, yeah, I just feel like you really carved out a great spot. And your events like aren't cheap, like
No,
they're
by
not a
design. Listen, by design. It's not, our events aren't for noobs. And like being a noob is cool. Like I'm a noob at like so many things in my life, and I love being a noob, and it's just part of the process. But we just figured if we make them expensive, the amount of value people get, they more than pay for it, just because like one or two things. Like if you want someone to like open up the kimono and show you some gangster shit, and you can apply that and copy and paste that when you get home. If you already have money and are already running at scale, you get that back, right? So that was part of it. The second thing was we just kind of use it as a filter to keep people that aren't already successful out. And even people that can afford it. We interview the majority of the attendees before they come to make sure that they are at that level, so that when everybody comes, everybody's good. And it's not the best, like I said, we don't make money on these things because of that. Like it's not the best business technique to turn away people that want to pay. But we believe like in the long run, it'll help the community be what we want it to be. So we try to price them at a point that makes them a little bit exclusive.
Do you have people that let's just say they can more than afford the ticket, but they're not really media buyers. They're really more business owners that like just want James to like show the way, right? So like how do you let those folks in? Because they're not going to provide a ton of value, on the media buying front by opening up accounts.
Yeah, you're smart on this one. So what we did this time was because we want the brand owners, because
Yeah.
you want people to have the business aspects as well, right? Because like being a media buyer or being someone that can afford one of our events, you're obviously also like a pretty good business person, or you work for a good business person. So we
Mhm.
basically said, look, brand owners and agency owners, we want you there, so much so that if you're not the guy pushing the buttons or the dials, just bring your guy, like
Right.
for
Right.
free. Like just bring your button pusher so that you can hang out and network with everybody and get ideas and do JVs and find out about different vendors. But bring your nerd so he can be in the guts and like take home the information that you're going to miss out on, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that. All right. Let's get into this rich ad, man. I want to know what's working for you right now. I want to know the copy. I want to know the angle. I want to know the offer. I want to know the creative. I want to know the affiliate link. I want to know where to sign up. I want to know what the payout is. I want the contact. I want the email address. I want an intro. This is what I want. This is all what I want. Rich Ed.
All right. So let's see. We are running a lot of financial stuff, a lot of like the Agora financial type offers. which
Okay.
are amazing on one hand because they can afford really high payouts because their business is so well optimized on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
So we're able to get paid, 170, $180 for someone to make a $50 purchase.
Wow.
And there's a lot of learning that comes with this and us needing to change our system and kind of maybe I'll kind of segue that into the techniques we're using to make it work. So we have that. And then we're also running for e-commerce products, some that have VSL, some that don't have VSLs, some like just way more traditional e-com products that are like crushing on Facebook and they want to move over to native ads so they get more reach or they're more omni-channel. So we've been running both of those, I would say, right now mainly. Lead gen died out for us a lot because of Corona and just the inconsistency of call centers. If they have staffing, a lot of the stuff with lead generation is dependent on people to answer the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also geographically dependent. So the lead gen kind of was a lot more difficult this last year than it had before. So we switched over to e-commerce also because you have the ability to activate international marketplaces. What we've really been working on, especially with something that has a expensive payout, like $150 payout or 200, even we're running an offer right now, it's $300 payout per sale, is that you just can't afford to optimize campaigns all the way out to a full conversion. So we've kind of created a new system internally to test, and I'll give like basically secret sauce here of how we do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So you give me a new offer, and I'm going to write 6 angles around that offer, right? So it might be uh, XXX is furious. It might be thousands of people are doing this. It might be experts sound the alarm about X. It might be founder does this. So I'll take like 6 broad angles and I will write 4 headlines per angle. And I'll write very, very small 2 paragraph landing pages per angle. And then I go through, and if I have 2 ads out of 4, so every angle gets 4 specific headlines. If I have 2 ads out of 4 ads hit, then I'll go to step 2 and start to optimize on that angle, right? So now I move to step 2, and now I'm at the landing page part, right? So now I'm going to start to optimize landing pages for that angle. And I take a look at the landing page click through rate. And where it gets next level kind of intense is we've started to really optimize by time on page as a cheap indicator. Like, because if the
Mm.
indicator that you normally, or the KPI that you normally optimize off of is a $300 conversion, somebody staying on the page for 15 minutes is in
Mm.
theory worth X. So we basically build correlation between an ultimate conversion and all the steps that come before it. And then we start to optimize on early steps with the anticipation that those early steps will equal a later step. And this has helped us really decrease the amount that we spend in the beginning just throwing shit against the wall, like traditional style.
I feel like your whole stick, James, is like, I like pain. I like to make media buying really difficult. And so I'm
No,
gonna I'm gonna pick all the offers that are like, that are, it's just like lead gen is like, I feel like has its own level of like complicate, like just it's so much more complicated, so many more steps. I feel like these higher ticket offers that you're doing, obviously there's like so many more steps along the way. And like most people at Medium are like, what's the cheapest thing I can sell that has the lowest average order
yeah.
value, the
I mean,
highest
look,
AOV, and like
here's
let
the
me go.
thing. This is like kind of the mistake that people make when picking offers, right? Like especially if we're going to talk affiliate side now, right? Is like there's 2 ways to look at it, right? There's if we're working on the assumption that we're going to get to a profitability benchmark on a white hat offer of let's say 20%. I like the fact that if something has a payout of 250, my 20% is $50, right? So like I have a fat cash margin, just not a fat percentage. The downside of this is when optimizing something, especially like you want to feed the Facebook algorithm or whatever, the cheaper conversions work out better. But for me, I really just look at the EPC. Like I don't really care what the payout is. I just want to know what is going to be my revenue per click. If it's a high payout offer, a $300 payout, it's not converting very often. You're looking at like a 1% conversion rate. So it's like, it's for me all about EPC. And when it comes to picking offers in an affiliate, like if I can give any type of advice here, I just don't run anything. I can't find an edge. Like if I don't have some type of inside tip, better payout, unran geography. I need something that gives me an edge over somebody else. Otherwise, I just don't run that offer. And I think that, like, I guess year 4 of my career, I realized like that year I didn't get any better at media buying, but I got better at like my hit rate. I was better able to identify offers that could be profitable than I
Yeah.
was before. Like I didn't get better, I just ran easier shit. And now I can look at it and see, okay, I have an edge and this isn't that hard if I just do XYZ.
Yeah.
I'll take it to another country or whatever.
Yeah. I think it's just, I mean, good business practices, right? Like, don't get in even to a business at all that you don't have an unfair advantage on.
Exactly. Exactly. I like to snipe offers that I see running well in the United States, and then I spy and see they're not running well in Europe. And I'll
Yeah.
be like, okay, no one's running this in France. I'll take what someone else has done, take all of their hard work, all their landing page optimization, all their ads, headlines, whatever, translate them and just get the party started in a place that has a cheaper CPM. I think, especially now that the United States is getting, well, I mean, the prices are always getting more expensive, but I think that there's two things that are very valuable. One is like super hack, but it's a monster, is targeting in the United States other languages, but in the US. So like targeting like Spanish speaking browsers running in the United States because there's just like less competition in the auction because no one's actually bidding on that and it resonates higher with people that speak that language. And then
Mm.
secondly, as I mentioned, taking it to other geos like France, the cost for CPM in France is 30% what it is in the United States, but the payout is the same, if not more, because it's in euros. So after the conversion rate, I could probably get paid more for something that cost me less to make, and the people are more susceptible to modern American style marketing techniques. So I think that that kind of geo stretching or whatever you want to call it, activating outside geos is definitely
Geo stretching,
geo
TM,
stretching.
TM, James Van Elswick.
Yeah,
Rich Dad
it
Poor
felt
Podcast.
nice. Geo stretching felt nice. That actually had a good ring to it.
Yeah, yeah. We're rolling with it. We're rolling with it, man.
Mine now. I'm gonna keep that one.
It's on the show, so we get some like credits.
I'm sure
But
I learned something. Right now, you own it. Basically, it's on.
that's awesome, man. So coming back full circle, sorry, I just took us down this tangent. You're testing for time on page for some of these higher ticket offers. Now, are we all talking about this in the context of Symphony Agency, or like do you run all your affiliate stuff through the agency?
No,
How do,
it's separate. Like, no, my affiliate stuff I run is Purple Ad Labs. My agency stuff I run is Symphony Agency, and we run probably 50-50 affiliate and agency. Basically, like if an offer seems like super easy, I just push to take it as an affiliate. And if it's tough, I'll just run as an agency. No, I'm just I actually prefer running as an agency in a lot of ways because it's like I feel like there's more learning that I take from my partners that I can bring back to myself. Just it's a better learning opportunity to work with someone. If you want to learn about a company that's run well, like working with fucking Agora, for example, like it's a
Mhm.
$1.5 billion a year company. The learnings that I've been able to take away from them of what to do and what not to do have been like probably worth more than what I've made, So I actually prefer the agency side for this, but the affiliate side is fun because it's nice to like eat what you kill type thing.
Mhm.
It's satisfying, and if the offer's right, then we push it.
So I'm always curious how people structure their deals and their clients and their partnerships on the agency side. Do you guys run it kind of pretty vanilla, take a percentage of spend, or are you guys getting a little bit more aggressive in terms of upside, retainers, things like that?
Yeah, so we do a minimum spend, like a minimum fee, regardless of what we spend, which basically goes to us cover our copywriting because like a lot goes into copywriting
Hmm.
and like CRO and dev. Like we do a lot more than just buy media because we just don't know how to do it a different way. So like I'm gonna write the copy, I'm gonna write the pre-sale pages, I'm gonna make the pre-sale page, I'm gonna optimize the pre-sale pages. So I just don't want to do all that. And then I have a partner that's not getting me like a link to a Google Drive. But you charge somebody a minimum fee, then they hustle for you. So we do the minimum fee, we do a percentage of spend, and then we bake in a performance bonus, which is based on maybe it's ROAS, maybe it's CPA goal. But the easiest way to describe it is if somebody has a CPA goal, let's say of $100 and the spend is $50 and my fees are 15%, I basically combine the two and I look for 50% of the delta. So if I come in under your goal after my fees by $35, I get a bonus of $17.50. So it basically was actually built to negate the agency model, which is make your money by spending a lot. Whereas this model is still making me want to just be as profitable as possible for somebody. It doesn't always work because some people are like, look, I want you to max out my CPA. I just want to acquire as many customers as possible. And that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? We do that. But I do like the incentivization on the bonus side. Um, and then on the affiliate side, I don't know if you want to save this for the rich, not the rich ad, the financial piece of the thing.
I want to know, but hold that thought.
Yeah.
Hold that thought, because I want to know, what do you guys typically target for your base retainer, your setups, and your percentage of spend in terms of out of the gate?
Yeah, 15% to spend, 5K to 7,500 minimum fees. If you're like a startup, like you've never ran traffic, I'll do like 12K, 15K minimum fees. Just because like
You suck.
I just don't want that. Like I just don't like I'll do it, but what ends up happening is myself and my team are like super committed to winning. And we actually do know what to do to set up an offer from scratch. So what ends up happening is to get to the point where I can even run traffic, I become like an outsourced CMO.
Yeah.
A partner explaining him, okay, you want to use this software and use this and use that. So I'm trying to kind of discourage, unless the partners are really on it. Like if someone's like super on it and hustles hard, I might waive the startup fee. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I just can't stand building someone else's business for free.
And then what do you shoot for in terms of like minimum level of a spend? Like is it 100K a month spend or like minimum, or
it's not what it is now. It's what it is once I get it rocking. Like if you can't if you can't do $1 million a month, it's just not like I only want 10 clients that each do $1 million a month, as opposed to like 30 clients that do, 100 grand or 200 grand, just because I can only do so much, and I'd rather just go for the juicy stuff and a company that's built to scale, et cetera. And I'm not saying it like in a snobbish or picky way. It also really, again, depends on the partners and their level of hustle. Like if they're going to hustle as fast as me, where I ask for something and they turn it around the same day, it goes a long way, whereas normal customers or normal clients, that they drag it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think also that's big lifestyle choice too, of when you're running an agency, sticking at 10 clients, going deep with those, and really having win-win partnerships.
Yeah. I can't be a bitch. That's the problem. Like when I got into the agency thing, I just felt like a fucking waiter. You know what I mean? Like I live in Paris, and like if a client who's paying me wants to have a call with me at a reasonable time, like 12 Pacific, that means I got to talk to him at 10 p.m., which is like, it's okay. They're paying me, but A, I need to get paid well. And B, it has to be like, like just a few people. I can't be everyone's bitch. I don't like being in the service industry. That's why I like being an affiliate, because you're like your own boss. I don't like being a waiter. So I just try to keep it capped at the number of clients, so I'm not hustling around for douchebags, this type of stuff.
All right. Moving on. I want to know that
nobody ever wants to hire my agency now, right? It's absolutely the worst pitch for an agency ever.
No, this is your stick, dude. You're like the I don't give a shit about you pitch on everything you do, from Geek Out to Symphony Agency. I love it. So this episode is brought to you by Funnel Dash's Ad Card, the only charge card exclusively for your digital ad spend, in partnership with MasterCard. And if you are an aggressive affiliate dealing with dozens of ad accounts, or you are in gray hat or black hat verticals such as drop shipping, CBD, or other verticals where you're dealing with ad accounts getting shut down, business managers getting shut down, or even deplatformed from platforms like Facebook and Google, then you absolutely need to check out Funnel Dash's Ad Card. We give you unlimited free virtual debit and credit cards, so you can have a dedicated card for every single ad account campaign. And you can attach any name and address in the US, so you have complete anonymity on the card and at the card level. Plus, one of my favorite features is that you don't have to pre-fund or even top off like most typical virtual card solutions today. So if this is you and you're operating these verticals, whether you're an agency or an advertiser, then check out AdCard at funneldash.com. Walk us through a poor ad, man. What's something that you're really excited about that totally bombed, and you might be just slightly embarrassed to share?
And that's like every day, all day. I got a campaign right now. I can't get profitable worth of shit. I know I should kill it. I know I should kill it, but I can't get it profitable. I have a campaign that I'm running on Taboola. We're probably like 35, 40K into it. Um, we had a loss pool given to us by the advertiser. Basically, like, hey, here's 5K in losses. And I'll touch on this later, but as an affiliate, I don't run things anymore unless I get some of my testing paid for. Like, I'm just not going to run completely on my own buck. And
Yeah.
I got a loss pool. Partners are great, offers great. And I was on the phone this morning at like 9 a.m. asking somebody I respect to like look at my campaigns. I'm like, dude, I can't figure it out. Like, I have no idea what's
Hey,
happening
so
here. I'm
geek out,
still losing
geek
money.
out, geek out event is this weekend. You're gonna
Yeah.
come out alive. It's okay.
Yeah,
You've
come
built
learn from me. I'm great. I can't even figure out how to crack a killer offer.
no, but like you built the community that's gonna help solve this problem for you over the next couple of days. Like
Yeah,
you'll
I
be
mean,
good.
like, dude, like, I think that it's just, look, I mean, I guess in some sense I welcome it. I mean, if I wasn't failing so bad at this offer, I wouldn't have reached out for this intensive help. And when I did it, I learned like tons of stuff. Like, I learned a whole new, like, literally a whole new way to buy
Mm.
media that I didn't know about before. So I'm testing it today and this weekend. We'll see if it works. And it's going to be like, I'll literally have to like update all my SOPs and stuff, you know. But it's I'm failing bad, and not only am I failing bad, but like, I've been an affiliate for a while, and I know when to push and when to cut and run. So I'm
Yeah.
not someone that just like a noob just fights forever. And I'm literally like, since I started chatting with you guys beforehand, I refreshed stats like 4 times. Like, like, you know what I mean? And they didn't look good. You know what I mean?
James
Like,
the refresher.
it's not nice. You know what I mean? But I'm that invested in it where maybe I've gone too deep. Another amazing fucking fail is when I really got started on Facebook with solar, which was a really big vertical for us, right? We did tons of money on solar. We were definitely one of the top producers of solar leads for over a year. And it took me 6 months to figure out how to make it work. And when I went backwards, like, I had probably lost like 300 grand before I got it profitable. But like, I was never looking at it like on an all-time basis. I was just doing it day to day, and I was so deep trying to crack it. And what's amazing about this is and obviously everything changes with Facebook all the time, but my theory back then was to launch like multiple campaigns and then figure out which one hit the best and then keep that one, right? So it was basically like doubling and tripling my losses on losers. You know, and I didn't look at it till the very end. And I was like, holy shit, like, this one mistake cost me like, I don't know, 150, 200 grand, you know, and I just wouldn't quit. Like, this offer, I wouldn't quit. I'll never forget. I was at a hotel in Russia with my wife, and like, she was like, look, I think you just need to get a job. Like, this is driving you fucking crazy. Like, just stop with this. I was like, I will defeat this, you know? And that's like, honestly, that terrible point of view is how I feel right now about this failing campaign.
So funny.
I will
All right,
defeat it.
we'll have you back on the show in a month, and we'll see if you're out 100 G's instead of
No.
30 or 40.
Yahoo Gemini, another great fucking example of failure. I lost $65,000 when I first learned that traffic source. $65,000 to learn a traffic source. Lost, gone. That was a heartbreaker when I figured that out, because I don't
Oh
pay
my
attention, because I'm so deep in trying to figure it out that I never look at the final loss until it's like all done.
So I feel like this is a perfect segue into our next segment, which is really some financial principles
Yeah. How do we
of
really-
like what not to do in advertising. And I feel like the first one here is how to really, think about limiting your losses. James, we actually, now that I think back, our first interaction, I think you were doing a live stream, and you were talking about, I think, lead gen and solar. And I was just popping in the comments talking to you about like, how much are you willing to like lose on an offer that's so expensive? Like, solar is like, you think like a $300 payout is a lot. Like, jump into solar, you can lose money very quickly, as you experience, right? So what are some frameworks and perspectives that you can provide for somebody that is starting out new offers, opening up new traffic sources, and how they can limit their losses.
Terrible, terrible way to segue since I'm basically not doing it. Um, Look, you got to have a sticking point and you cannot become emotional with it, which is what I'm doing right now. You got to be a lot more rational and you got to consistently pull all time stats and not daily stats. Because losing $100 a day or $300 a day or $500 a day, whatever your tolerance is, it doesn't seem like that bad. But then when you look at it and you're like, I've been at this for 45 days, $300 a day, I'm down fucking 14 grand. That stings. So I think that's like a big loss limiter. And also I think it's a nice, basically what I do now is I look at the offer and I say, okay, I'm down 5K and I'm shooting for a 20 to 30% ROI when I figure this out. So payouts $50, right? So let's say that I'm going to make $10 a sale, but I'm down 5K. Yeah, I got to make 500 sales to catch up. Will this offer allow me to make 500 sales to catch up? Will this offer allow me to
Mm,
make 1,000 sales to catch up? Because like when you look at it from a lifetime point of view, to be profitable, you got to make all that money back. So I try to slow down and take a look at it a lifetime and see what is it going to take to get me back out of the hole.
mm. That's killer. Lifetime stats.
Lifetime stuff,
I love it.
all day,
All
every
right.
day.
So let's talk about this next segment, which I think is great. Like we were talking before about these tips, and we're like, hey, what are some principles for people that how they manage cash flow? And you basically like, I don't have cash flow issues. I negotiate terms. I'm like, all right, let's talk about that, right? So like, share with folks how you think about negotiating terms, and I want to just jump right to on the affiliate side. It sounds like you're negotiating a loss pool up front, but I don't know, maybe you could shed light there and then kind of land and expand.
Yeah, I mean, I look at a certain point, you got to have leverage to negotiate this type of stuff. And I've had enough successes on offers that now people understand that investing in a prepay with me or a loss pool, it's a good investment for them, and that it's going to keep me married to it. And part of the reason that I am doing what I am with this offer, I don't want these guys that are actually my friends to be out that loss pool. Like I want their investment to have been worth it. But it definitely gives you a certain leverage point. I think the step that I had before that was when you're an affiliate and especially like in lead generation with bigger companies. So not necessarily with a network, all could be a network, but like big companies, like you're selling to Solar City, Solar Leads, they want to pay you like net 30 and everything else. But at the end of the day, like you need to value yourself and understand the value you have to them, that you're like a monster revenue producer for them. So someone says like, oh, we pay net 30. I'm like, I can't afford. I never say like I won't. I say I can't afford. I don't have the money. Like
So good. So good.
yeah, like you got to be like humble. You can't try to be like Mr. Baller. But I just say like, look, I'm not able to afford to float this capital for you. Like I just can't do it. And then a lot of times they'll capitulate, and then I'll kind of be like, well, how much volume do I need to be where you can start to, float me the cash, or where do I need to be to get past your payment terms? And a lot of them, especially European buyers, will completely stick. And I'll be like, okay, well, I just can't afford it, and they'll be like, no, it's the way we do it. So what I'll do is I will smash them for 1 week and then turn the traffic off and just say, hey, I gotta wait till I can get paid. And like 9.5 times out of 10, they will capitulate and make a payment. So I keep it going, and it's just using that leverage to never be out of pocket and to really maintain your bankroll. Like it's dangerous with an unknown advertiser, unknown affiliate network to float that much cash. Because if you look at it, let's say you have like a great month, you make a bunch of money, let's call it 100K, okay? 100K profit you just put in your pocket. And then in order to make that 100K, let's say you spent 300 grand. Well, you want to do it again the next month. So I got to float 300 grand to make 100. If that person doesn't pay me, I've lost 3 months of cash. So is it really?
This is like our entire business model at Ad Capital is just floating people's stuff. We're just taking these risks liberally, like just
Yeah.
voluntarily, and you're making me sound and feel like a complete idiot for doing it.
You know what I did in the past as well when I didn't feel good about advertisers, and I don't like I understand the fact that you don't have money till it's in your pocket. Doesn't matter what's in your tracker, it doesn't matter what's on your spreadsheet, it doesn't matter what's in your brain. It's not yours till it's in your pocket. And I would figure out ways to kind of quasi buy insurance. So like if I had an offer that I was crushing, but I didn't like the payment terms or I felt bad about the advertiser, I'll just go to a network and tell them like, hey, I have an offer, I'm crushing it. you front me the cash and finance it for, take 5% instead of 10 or 20, and just make an agreement with me that you will be the one that basically bankrolls me and buys the risk, and I'll pay you 5% for it. So it's kind of like a way to make your own insurance.
That's amazing. So on your affiliate business and your agency business, what percentage would you say are prepaying of those deals, those contracts, those partnerships? What percent are prepaying you upfront for that media versus
For the
where you're doing
agency
it?
clients, I never put my card on the media ever. They put their own credit card. I won't run the deal. Like, I'm not going to risk my own money for them to build a business. And listen, because that's the other thing, people don't fucking pay. In all reality, people don't pay. When I first got in the lead game, it was 2008, and I was doing a lot of television ads. And I had a guy that was massive television lead producer, and he was floating all the major lenders and banks net 90 terms. Well, when all those banks shut and said, screw you, this dude was out millions and millions of dollars. And I was under the impression that banks, they're completely reliable. Of course they're going to pay you. When I realized, like, no, they probably won't. And when bad times happen, like pandemics or whatever, it's very easy to make excuses. So I don't know. I just recognized, no, I'm never going to put my card on the account and float people unless they want to pay me for the loan, because it's basically a loan. Like, if I'm putting my card on the account, I'm floating you 30 days. That costs money, because my money can make money. So I never do that. And on the affiliate side, I just either get paid upfront or I start getting paid dailies. And once I do volume, I just say, look, I need a prepay. Like, to keep it rolling, I need a prepay because I can't afford it.
I love that. Prepay. This you're first for talking about that on the show, man. And I feel like nobody asked for it. It's just but it changed the game in terms of your cash flow. The guys over at Strike Point Media, I mean, they were on the show a couple weeks ago. They talk about how, not so much in the affiliate space, but like when their clients started to prepay, it changed the game for them, and their trajectory and their cash flow and their growth was when they changed those payment terms. And I feel like you can, as an affiliate, you get way more aggressive when you're on a prepay too, in terms of like the volume you can push. So what's been killer? James, you're an amazing guest. Thank you so much. Tell everybody a little bit about, how we can support you, where people can get in touch. And yeah,
I mean, it's lame, but the easiest way, even though I'm not on there ever, is like Facebook Messenger. I check it like once a week and I hit everybody back, and it's the most direct way. Symphony Agency, the hardest agency in the world to hire, but we're really, really good. We just probably don't want to work with you. But if we do, we kick ass. So that's like an amazing pitch. And then Geek Out events, like really I believe the highest level learning workshops, etc. in the game. We'll be doing another event in a month, either in LA or Miami. We're always like really poorly prepared and tell everybody last minute, but it still sells out super fast, so it works. So yeah, hit me up on Facebook Messenger if you have questions. I answer all questions that people ask me about media buying, business, whatever. I don't give a shit. It just might take a second to respond, but I will absolutely respond. So guys, thank you so much for having me.
Love it, man. I love it.
Like I could want.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much, James.
Have a good day, guys.
Thanks so much for listening to another episode of the Rich Dad Poor Dad podcast. If you're like me and listen to podcasts on the go ahead and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and richdadpoorad.com/podcast. And if you absolutely love the show, go ahead and leave a review and a comment, share with a friend. If you do, take a copy, screenshot of it, email me, zach@funneldash.com, show me you left a review, and I'll give you a free copy of the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. To learn more about the book, go to richdadpoorad.com. To leave a review, go to richdadpoorad.com/review. Thanks again.